Welcome to Record-ology.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Record-ology. I hope you're having a great evening or morning or afternoon or whenever you're watching this, wherever you are. I hope your day has been a good one or it's going to be a good one. So I want to thank whoever it was that gave me the tip about, and I don't know if it's going to work yet. I'm, living in faith here, but they suggested in terms of the cell phone interference in the microphone, just put it in airplane mode. So I've done that. I'm in airplane mode. Hopefully there's no feedback because I do like using this mic. And I've, used lavs. I've used shotgun mics, and this one's sort of the best of both worlds. My lavalier that I've got, it's an Audio-Technica. It's just not very, the fidelity on it is not very good. It's not a pro mic. When it comes to lavs, I'm used to, $700-800 lav mics, and I don't have one of those personally. So I have to settle for a cheaper one, and I don't like the quality, so it's a constant battle. Anyway, today, that's neither here nor there, because we're talking about the Glenburn record player from the UK, and I just thought I'd give you my thoughts, and we'd play with it a little bit. I'm going to take the dust cover off here. I think it's a really cool unit. I really, really do. I haven't used it that much since I first got it, and I had it in the office there for a week or two. And I replaced the stylus. We reviewed this. We've had a number of shows. So if you want to know more, type in Glenburn or BSR. Glenburn is a spin-off of BSR. It's not really a BSR. It's another changer company that was made by the same people that made BSR. So it shares some striking similarities, but it's not the same thing. So I replaced the cartridge with a new one, or a stylus, I should say, new old stock. And like we've talked about a lot on this channel, it just tracks, or it just plays fast. And the pitch is off, and that drives me crazy, and I have a hard time getting over that. So, by the way, I've got, just off camera, the P10 Crosley preamp up there, and just connected to this little stereo speaker for our purposes today. So I thought we'd just play with it and talk about it. I'm not going to review it again. There's not a sense to do that. So this is cool. This set right here is one of the swing era sets that they came out with Time Life. Much in the same style that the record sets with Reader's Digest were issued. And I actually had the FlexiDisc advertisement. This has a full, legit hardcover book that came with this set. I had the advertising piece for it, the FlexiDisc, and we were reviewing that, and I was like, wait a minute, I think I actually own this set. Sure enough, I did. So I just grabbed a set of records here. They look really handsome with this beautiful green and black label. I love it. When you're using a changer, for those of you that aren't familiar with these changers, they're going to be crooked like that for a second. And I'll show you what I mean here in a minute. This is a 3-record set. In my experiments, in my experience with this unit, about 5 records is the max. Above that, it starts having a hard time knowing what to do and what to drop. So I'm going to put the overarm. I used to think that was called a stabilizing arm because that makes sense, but no, it's an overarm, so thank you for that. A lot of people, audiophiles, and by the way, for those of you that have been telling me I've been becoming an audiophile, especially because of the thing we reviewed last night, which was really cool, that headphone amplifier with the 3D filter and all that stuff. And I pushed back and I'm like, don't call me that. I'm just teasing. I'm totally teasing. I don't care whatsoever if I'm an audiophile or not. I'm just me. Whatever that is, I don't care. You can label me however you want. But anyway, audiophiles typically, apparently, don't like changers. And they say they're rough on the records. And yes, these vinyl records are stacked. The raised hubs on records with raised hubs will protect that somewhat. Also, the ones with the raised lip or groove guard, as it was marketed. But some records that are totally flat, yeah, I mean, it's not spinning on itself because they're just stacked and not moving until it's dropped on the platter. But I could see how people would get, they would get itchy about that. I think it's cool, though. I think it's really, really cool. So you can manually operate it or you can automatically operate it. Go to start. That starts the platter spinning. Then hit auto, and that starts the magic. And let's see what we got here. Got our little speaker hooked up here to the back of the preamp. So, really cool stuff. And, you know, on stuff like this, I don't really have an issue whatsoever. But if I'm playing music by an artist that I am, you know, very familiar with and I know what their voice is supposed to sound like, the slightly faster speed on this, it throws the pitch off, and I just can't get over that. I can't get over that. And people use the term OCD way too lightly. I mean, they throw that around, and but it is, I have a hard time dealing with pitch issues. I'm so used to it being right. That's one thing you have to say about cassette tapes, CDs, streaming, is that for the most part, those are going to be on pitch, the correct speed. Now, there are exceptions. I know there's exceptions where stuff is mastered at the wrong speed, yada, yada, yada. But a record player has the most difficult job amongst all those formats in terms of maintaining the right and correct speed. This unit having an AC synchronous motor versus a DC motor where you could just go in there with pots and adjustments and take a screwdriver and make adjustments to it. The AC synchronous motor is very good at regulating constant speed based on that alternating current, but the problem is you can't really adjust it. This one uses an idler wheel, so and if you want to see the inner workings of this, we took it apart. Check out the previous videos on this. And do check out our older videos. We've done some amazing things, and some stuff just gets views and then kind of goes through a period of, you know, getting views over a few weeks, and then it kind of falls off the cliffs of oblivion, and, you know, people don't think or talk about those videos again, except for some videos are kind of perpetual, and they kind of, you know, are good. They're good performers in the long run, but some just fall off and people don't even realize we did it. So check out our older videos. I'm trying to build the playlist that drives people back into the older content, which is all designed to be timeless. This video right now should be as applicable in 2025 as it is here in 2021. So there you go. But anyway, I don't know where I was going with that train of thought, but I think the technology is really, really cool. It'll play through all the way through that record, and then it'll drop the next one. If you don't want to wait for that, you can hit the reject switch, is what that's called, into the auto mode. It's going to bring the tone arm out, drop a record, and start playing the second one. And there you go. Let me turn the volume up here. Sound quality is great. It's got a Shure moving magnetic cartridge. To Jeff, who always asks me, I'm not sure if it's magnetic or ceramic. This is magnetic. I love your comments. Nobody uses. You are the king of emojis. You are the king of emojis. So I appreciate your comments. I appreciate all of your comments. And I love just learning from you guys and hearing from you guys. I think that's really fun. Also, if you're like, yeah, I don't want to listen to this, you can manually lift this and move it over. It is actually scraping the bottom of that record a little bit. So I'm going to lower it a little bit. So you still have that manual control. And if you're done with it, you hit stop. It's going to slow the record player down to a complete stop. Now, if I want to bring it back home by itself, I can put the switch over to auto and then flip it to off. And then we'll be done there. You can pick different sizes. You can pick 12-inch, 10-inch, or 7-inch. So somebody the other day was like, man, I really wish, they were talking about the LP3. I really wish it could do 10-inch records. Well, this is one that could. These older BSR style units had that ability. Also, the overarm, where it's placed in relation to what you do with the switch, impacts things as well. My favorite part about changers is this. I don't know why I like this so much, but I just love pulling records off. I don't know why I like that. It's kind of weird. So this is, of course, I'm always the guy that ends up at the lower end of something. If I ever get something, I'm like, oh, this is cool. This is, good or whatever. And I look it up. It's always, and the same thing with the Sony deck. Of course, I get the lower end one. Although some of you were like, it's better to have the lower end one. You don't want the auto reverse because of the head alignment. But this as well is the lower end of this range plastic platter with the metal inlay. But it's still pretty hefty. All right, now, what else can you do with this? This is a 4-speed turntable, so it affords you some interesting things. So obviously 33s, like we were just playing, 45s. In order to do the 45 changer function, you need one of those plastic 45 adapters, not the round little ones, but the longer ones that are designed for the changers. I don't have one of those now. I grew up with them all the time. Didn't know what the heck they were back then. But anyway, you can play 78s on this. So let's play a 78. And we're just going to play a single disc. Let me find a 78 here. Actually, bear with me. Here's an interesting 78. Get ready to drop your coffee because this is going to freak some people out. So this is a picture disc. This is a Vogue picture disc. And I'm going to play it. Oh my gosh, you shouldn't play that. That's for display only. Relax. I've played it before. We've demoed it before, and it'll be just fine. It's made of nice, durable resin. And we're going to do that right now. Nope, I'm not going to set that down. Okay, I tricked it up somehow. Somehow I shut it down the wrong way before. I'm going to get like 400 messages about what I did wrong. So let's try this again. So we go to the start. Then we go to auto, and it should drop the record. There we go. And I forgot to switch it to 10 inch, so it thinks it's... Okay, I'm just doing a grand old job here. I forgot to switch to 10 inch. There we go. I'm okay, I promise. I'm demonstrating it and doing it completely wrong. Now, I will say this. The stylus is a microgroove stylus. You're not going to get that full, rich 78 RPM sound quality with a wide groove stylus would give you. But no harm is done to the needle nor the record. It's totally fine. Trust me. Even a diamond stylus running through this thing on a changer is going to be a featherweight delicacy compared to the harsh steel needles that this thing has been exposed to in the past. I love these Vogue picture discs. They are so cool. How many of you guys knew I screwed it up and were just waiting for bad things to happen? Show of hands. Show of hands. Oh, dang. I knew you guys knew what I was doing. And you always do. You figure it out before I get there. So, I'm actually not this bad at this stuff when I'm not thinking about making a show on top of actually using the record player. Apparently, it taxes my brain too much. Let's look at a couple of interesting things here. So, let's look at a Seeburg record. And we've reviewed some of these in the past, and we'll do more again. I have a handful of these. This is actually, I believe, a 9-inch record. You know what? Let's just figure this out right now. Yes, that's a 9-inch record because this is a 10-inch record. And the Seeburgs were licensed music. These are produced by Columbia, and they were designed to be played on Seeburg 1000, but they can be played on other units like this one as well. And the thing is that they were background music. I mean, people would, it's kind of like the grandfather of Muzak. They would get new records every month. They would change them out, and they would just let this play in the background. Beautiful, beautiful music, high quality. But you'll notice 16 2/3 RPM. Well, this one does that as well. So going over to 16 RPM, which is really 16 2/3 RPM, we can do the same thing. And I know I don't need to drop it like this, but that's just the way I'm wanting to do it. And we're going to say 7-inch so we don't drop the needle outside of the record again. And let's go ahead and play this. 16 2/3 RPM. 16 2/3 RPM. There we go. See how slow that's turning? Like half of a 33 RPM disc. And the music, the fidelity is surprisingly good. Now these were never intended to be, these discs were never intended to be owned by, you know, people. 16 RPM speed was used for other things as well. Books on record, things of that nature, spoken word stuff. But a record changer like this, a BSR record changer, here's a couple other, I'm not going to play these right now. You have to have the adapter too, by the way, that special 3D printed one there, because of the large hole there. But these are cool, eminently collectible. You can find them on eBay. They're not too terribly expensive. It's fun to have a couple of those. And the music is great. You have so much play time on a record. It's super, super cool. Anyway, the thing about these changers is they're a lot of fun. If you like the tactile interaction of a record, if you like, interacting with your media and fully focusing on your media, pick a changer up. You'll really like it. And you can pick them up for $15, $20, $25 at the thrift store or on Craigslist or eBay. It would be a little bit more because you have to ship it. But they're not that hard to find. The BSRs are pretty common. The Glenburn a little less common, but it's pretty much the same thing. You get 4-speed turntable. You get the automatic changing functionality. You get a full manual turntable functionality as well. It's just it's great fun. And like I did, you can buy new old stock Styli for it. And it's a great fun thing. The only downside I've got about it is the speed is slightly off on this one. Now, the shaft that the idler wheel connects to that we looked at inside, you can add dimension to that. You can detract by shaving it down. I'm not going to take the risk of doing that, but it is what it is. When the pitch is a little fast, you're going to notice that more than when it's too slow, and I'd rather err on the side of slightly fast than the other way around. These are well known to be a little bit fast like that. Some people say it's so that when you've got a bunch of records stacked on there, it averages to an accurate speed. But if you're just playing one record and the weight is light, then it's more prevalent. But anyway, just a little review on the Glenburn here. A fun unit, something unique and different. And I got a big smile on my face just playing with this thing again for the first time in a couple of months. So anyway, let me know down in the changer. Let me know down in the changer below. Let me know down in the comments below if you like changers, what your favorite changer is. Or let me know your BSR memories, because many of you have them. Even I have them. This is the same basic type of unit that I grew up with. My grandpa had one of those big wooden Sears consoles. So anyway, that's going to do it for now, guys. Happy record hunting. We will see you tomorrow.